So I called this meeting to order at 6:11 p.m. Um, did everybody get a chance to look over the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, cool beans. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from November 29th.
Almost.
So moved. Oh, yeah. Second.
Seconded.
Okay, any discussion?
Are the names all spelt correctly?
From what I saw, yes.
The only thing I noticed is my name doesn't have an H in it.
Did
No, I don't
put
think
it
I
there?
knew that.
Yeah, other than that, that was it. Yeah, that's it.
I think the last one I just spelled it Nikki.
Correct.
Okay, any other discussion? No? Okay, so all in favor of approving the minutes with the revisions?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the minutes have been approved. Alrighty, so reports, Constitution Committee. We did not meet, and Sarah's also not here, but we did not meet at all because our last meeting was last week. So as far as I know, we don't have anything unless Sarah comes in and says otherwise. Ways and Means, also I'm assuming does not have anything. I'm not sure why Corey's on this agenda. I just realized that. I'm sorry. But Ways and Means, you guys don't have anything?
No,
Okay.
we didn't meet.
Student Trustee, Cody?
Yo, hi everybody. Coming straight in from the home office. 1 second. Let me grab my notes. In terms of stuff that really applies to us, not a whole lot. There are a few big things that I do want to mention is one, the Leominster campus is really coming to the construction is really coming to a close so it can finally open. Jason gave a fantastic presentation at the trustee meeting with full complimenting pictures. You really felt like you were there, especially for someone who has never set foot on that campus. So to see the actual like improvements, because you have the before and after shots, it's amazing. That's going to be opening pretty soon. One of the big things that he pushed for that campus, which I think would be amazing here on the Gardner campus, was the hunger-free campus grant for $150,000, which really allowed them to put in freezers and storage lockers for the food pantry over on that campus. And if you ever did pick up at a local supermarket where you ordered in ahead of time and you walked in and there's these lockers you can just come and pick up, or you had more of a roadside thing, that's kind of what's going to be happening at that campus. So the campus is going to be closed. You can either put in an order or walk in and you can have these access to these storage units for food and stuff like that. That's going to be available. And it's just incredible. The food selection and stuff's going to be crazy over there. And I bring this up not only for people at the Leominster campus, that's going to have this amazing opportunity, but hopefully to see more of that stuff here. One of the other things is I learned that I didn't learn before, that I think that you should be telling every student that you come in contact is save your syllabus. If you haven't, like I haven't been, go back to your downloads, check your computer, make sure that you're saving any syllabus that you for any of the classes that you're taking and saving them on. Apparently, a lot of students have been having problems when transferring, and then the transferring college asks to see not proof, but examples of those courses being taken, and you do that through the syllabus. And it turns out that courses aren't required. I think it's through union. They are not allowed to save those on campus, on site. So when they go back to find them, they're not there. They're gone, disappeared. And I don't know if you could shed a little bit more light on it, Jason, in terms of like what's the consequences that a lot of students are facing. But I know it makes things a little bit more difficult.
Sure. And that's that suggestion or recommendation to save your syllabi has been around since I was an undergraduate. So I hate to say this out loud, but I have all of my undergraduate and graduate syllabi in paper form because we did not have computers back then, because you may need them someday. And what a syllabus does is it speaks to not just the course that you take, because every campus may call a course a different thing, but it covers all of the textbook, the content, the scope of the content. And that's really what happens when a college is like, well, what was American history at Mount Wachusett? Like, what did you cover? If you show that syllabus to them, they would be able to see if it's an equivalent course at their institution. And so what Cody is referring to is that faculty, and this is true not just at Mount Wachusett, but any faculty member can share a syllabus with a student who took the course, but they're not required to share that with the institution. So if you reach out in 10 years and say, hey, I took Leadership 101 with Jason Zaleski, can you give me that syllabus? The college does not have that syllabus. And if Jason Zaleski is on a beach somewhere in a tropical island where he hopes to be in 10 years, he's not going to be answering your email or text message probably. So that's why you save the syllabi, and particularly at a community college like ours, we have lots of adjunct faculty who may teach once and never again. And that syllabi is a snapshot in time for your course. So it's just really good recommendation to hang on to those. And I have all of mine and can get you that. When I went to graduate school, I had to use them to show what my courses were.
So from here on out, if for any new students coming in or returning ones who didn't know, like I am, which is kind of embarrassing considering I'm near the end of my run here, but if you just let them know, keep this in the back of your mind, just hit Control-Alt, make sure that's saved in the document somewhere, print it out if you're like Jason, like to have that stack underneath, like, all your dishes and stuff like that. It's a good option. In terms of the last two things I really want to bring up is one, Stephanie Williams, Chief Diversity Officer here at Mount Wachusett, has been doing an amazing job putting out a strategic guide for faculty, which is the language to use diversity and equity in terms of race relations here at Mount Wachusett Community College, to make sure all the courses and then Mount Wachusett as a whole, the message and the language revolves around creating equity and making sure that people of all colleges can have access to not only access, but ease of access to the information that they need to. And she has created a lot of strategic plans and stuff like that listed in the thing. I don't have that on me, but to be presented, but I do have that if anyone needs to look at that. But I just do want to cut out that she's been doing amazing work here on campus to make sure that all of us have an equal opportunity to be in the positions that we're in here now. One of the last fun things I found, and as the person who's heading the food division here on campus, maybe you can explain a little bit more, but when are we going to get the weed vendors, Jason? There's a thing not on campus, because in one of the things it says that we're getting third-party vendors, and one of them is Edie to go rep, and we're also looking to get a cannabis vendor. No?
Can't happen. Can't happen on any college campus in the country. We have to follow the federal Drug and Alcohol Free Campus School Act. Marijuana remains a federally regulated drug, regardless of Massachusetts state law. So
that's interesting, though. I don't want to derail too much, but if that's a big no-no, why is it listed on, I even have the page number, page 34. I don't know if you pop it up, but they were having an open conversation, at least written wise, that they were in talks with cannabis vendors. That's
sure,
weird.
there are lots of non-credit options for cannabis cultivation. There are some colleges and universities that have cannabis courses as part of their curriculum. That's different than actually having cannabis on campus. And so you will not find that on a college campus until the federal government deregulates or reclassifies marijuana as a federally banned substance. Same is true in Massachusetts, by the way, for drug screens. Our students must test negative for marijuana for any kind of selective health or drug screen, even if they have a medical marijuana card. Employee law and federal drug screen law still requires a negative screen for marijuana, so even with an accommodation.
That's why I think this is how rumors get started. I'm the source, but other than that, yeah, that's it for me.
Sorry, I was muted. I was talking to myself. Okay, thank you. We have nothing from SAC. We meet on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday afternoon. Ben is not here. So no student body liaison report. Academic Senate, Cody.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Student Success Committee, Justina.
Nothing. We have a meeting next week, but is Ben unexcused?
Yes. Everybody who is not here is unexcused. We have nobody on academic environment. Ready Education, Nicole?
Sure, Justina or Chloe, do you mind sharing your screen with the document that I sent you by chance? I just don't have it in front of me.
Neither of us have access to that. But
All right, let me
I
see if I can pull it up and
I
share my
can
screen.
change that for you.
okay.
Because I think I sent both of you an email with it.
I do have it, yes.
Chloe, you're a co-host now.
Alrighty. Let me not be.
I did attach it to the notes, the minutes I sent out yesterday also.
Can everybody see it?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Take it away, Nikki.
All right, so I'll try to make my way through this as quick as I can. I won't make it too long. The testing app is coming soon. Only certain users have access right now. I don't know who those users are, but I'm not one of them, unfortunately. Students will be able to go into the profile section and choose my courses to connect with faculty. It will also include my schedule as well. The app will be accessible in both English and Spanish. Events will be able to be imported into the app. It'll have the date and time, who's hosting. Events will be removed from the calendar that are canceled or have a date and time change. There might be a couple hour delay though. When you click on an event name, it'll take you to the details of the event and you can actually add it to your calendar. We're also going to have the ability to have various tabs in the app. A resources tab will be a placeholder for info that is not on the website. Services tab will list all of the different departments and their information. Locations tab will list all the buildings with campus map and coordinates. Dining services will have the hours of operation, location, and the menu. Calendar tab will have key deadlines for all students. Organizations tab will have a list of all the clubs, the club info, their events. You can subscribe to a club's whole calendar, which I think is awesome. The orientation tab will have info for orientation. You can add dates to your calendar. Deals tab, you can create deals and feature tiles, and you can link websites to those deals specifically for students. The job tab would have a tile for handshake and all postings would be in a job title. When logging on for the first time, there's going to be the ability to have terms and conditions added. When you download the app, you agree to mass texting, but you can opt out of non-critical items once you're in the map. And then there'll be a notify feature where you can include push notifications to users' phone or notifications in the app. And the notifications can be from any department, club, or class on campus.
Thank you. And why don't you do the all college forum too?
While
Because
I'm
it's
already here.
up.
Sure. Okay, so like Cody said, the Leominster renovation is coming along really, really well. We're on time and on budget. Opening of spring semester, it's approximately 20,000 square feet. And one thing I'm personally really, really excited about is that we'll have an ADA accessible elevator to all 3 floors. I think Jason said before, it was just a very, very old lift that went to every floor. So I'm super excited that it's gonna have an elevator. They're hoping to take ownership of the building the first of the year. It's gonna have gender inclusive bathrooms, a lactation room, and 2 student lounges.
Awesome. Thank you.
Can I, excellent job, Nikki. That was really well done. I would just, for the Ready Ed app, you mentioned the test users. I'm not a test user yet either. As soon as I get those credentials, I'm going to share that with our group. The folks that are testing right now are really our IT folks. All the testing is really on the back end in making sure that everything is synced up. So there, I know I talked to IT this morning, and they were going to do a roll of all of our current students to see if schedules rolled, and they're just like testing out what it looks like, so that by the time we get to use it, we can actually do things on it. So that when you have it, like Nikki, Cody, whoever else, you'll be able to actually download your schedule and look at the events and see. We want users to have that experience, but before we can do that, we actually have to populate it. So that's what they're working on right now, is to try to get all of that information downloaded. So far, so good is what I've been told. And as soon as they feel confident that there's actually information that you can play around with, they're gonna get us user IDs and passwords, temp passwords.
Thank you. Anything else for oops, I had to go back to my thing. Anything else for Ready Ed or All College Forum?
Nope, that was it.
Alrighty, thank you. Justina, anything new for the marketing committee? I don't think we had anything going on, but just double check. Justina?
Sorry, no.
Alrighty. Sorry, I couldn't tell if you were shaking your head or nodding your head or anything because I can't see everybody.
Sorry, I
Yep.
know.
Alrighty, thank you. Oops, I also don't know why the wreath decorating committee is on here either, which I appreciate, by the way, Ren. Thank you very much for doing that. I'm not sure why it's still on the agenda though. I meant to take that off. Oh man. Retention plan liaison, we have not really started that yet. Cody, how's everything going with Ron Jones?
From my last previous conversation with him and Kathy, is that we're waiting on him to have a talk with another third party, see where that goes, and then depending on the outcome of that, he'll get back to us and we're gonna go from there.
Okay, thank you.
I have an update
oh.
to that. I did talk to Ron, he called me. And he is now going to be available on Wednesday, the 8th by about 4 p.m. or 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon, because that other school did lock him in for that day, morning and then a noon time. So we will have him late afternoon on Wednesday, which rolls right into, we were going to do the Wednesday evening, and then we have him on Thursday. So we're in the process of working on that contract. I'm waiting for him to send me a W-9, and then I will get a contract out to him for signature. And yeah, and we should be, so then we can really roll from there.
And that rolls right into what me, Nikki, and Ben were already talking about anyway. So
Absolutely.
Thank you. And then that's definitely something that the marketing committee can work on. That's definitely, but we'll get there in the spring semester. That'll probably be the first meeting in the spring semester. External reports. Jason, anything from the leadership team?
Not since our last meeting. The only thing I would add to Cody's comments about the food lockers is that we are actually getting those food lockers in Gardner as well. So that is happening. So I have a meeting scheduled for Friday morning with the locker company, which sounds really awful. Their Quadrant is the name of the company, and they specialize in refrigerated food lockers, which and they have food lockers at Bunker Hill and a number of other colleges in our area. So we are meeting now that we have that grant and that money in place. We're meeting with them on Friday morning to kind of begin the process of making an order and getting those on campus. So I think the difference with Leominster is that we literally designed the space for the food lockers. So we literally architecturally designed that and plugs 8 feet high, like exactly spec'd out for the locker. In Gardner, we're going to need to find a place for those lockers to be. And the goal is to have those in, again, a publicly accessible area. Food pantry might be locked. It might not be staffed, but students can have access to the lockers as long as they have access to the building. And we know that building access is far greater than food pantry access in terms of the hours of operation. This allows for essentially students to be able to access their locker in their order, for lack of a better word, their pickup, anytime the building is open, which again, on the Leominster campus is 8 in the morning until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And pretty much in Gardner, it's around 7 in the morning until about 10 o'clock at night. So go ahead, Cody. Those are my only updates.
Yeah, I literally was seething on my chair at the edge of my seat with a bunch of questions, and you literally answered all of them. And considering the proposal you did for the Leominster campus and all the work you guys did over there, I literally couldn't be happier that it's going to be coming to Gardner.
And just so you know, those lockers are there'll be double lockers in Gardner just because of population. So Leominster will get 1 set of lockers, and Gardner will get 2 sets of lockers, and that's just based on just sheer population. But the other thing that comes with those lockers is the software package, which sounds insignificant, but actually isn't. The software package tracks pickups, student pickup, what's in the locker, how long it's in the locker for, pickup time, so that we know a locker is empty. You can code it for expiration date. So if you're putting refrigerated perishable items in there, you can set the locker to alert the food pantry staff that something in that locker has reached its expiration date. It also sends reminders to students that, hey, don't forget to pick up your your food pantry items. They're available until this time. And then it tracks on the back end. Right now, a lot of that tracking is being done by hand or in a Google spreadsheet. This allows for for us to know, like, okay, if we put 3 jars of peanut butter in this locker, then we're down to 4 jars of peanut butter, and it's just going to really customize the whole the food pantry process, which I'm equally excited about, because I think that helps us. It also helps us look at trends and what students are looking for. And I think if we really get serious with that software, which I hope we do, students could even order online, right? You can use so that someone could get an order, pack the locker, send the student their PIN number. It has like an ATM PIN set up. You put in your PIN number and your locker door unlocks, and you can grab your stuff and go.
So you're really talking about, I didn't know the other half though, like food bounties. Like people have like Christmas wish lists that anonymous people can come and donate. And if people have like an event coming up or whatever, they just need food for their family. Like, I don't like that, all the kidney beans and all the stuff that's in there, but I do like all this other certain food. This is what my family eats. And they can put that list down. People can see that and fulfill that and put those in the lockers for that person. Right?
Potentially. I mean, it gives us the growth opportunity to get to that to that system for sure. And
And-
their proprietary software is something that lots and lots of campuses use. We currently do not have any type of software managing the food pantry.
And the last question is just, would you be raising staff to meet? Is this like an extra hiring position, 2, 3 more positions? What are you thinking?
So the grant includes 1 full-time position, a basic needs coordinator, who will, so there'll be a full-time, right now it's just a half-time person managing the food pantry. This would essentially double that. So from 18 hours a week to, 37.5 plus 18. I won't do the math because it's dangerous when I do that. Just lots more.
And Nikki?
Is that potentially a tab that we could add to the Ready Education app where someone could order their food through that as well?
Great question. I'm going to ask that on Friday. I don't know if the software is compatible, right? So that's the only piece that I don't know. But I do know that students that we can access that. That's a cloud-based software. I just don't know how it will connect. It may be that you launch from the app to their website. But that's the stuff we have to figure out.
Okay.
But we're not the only So Bunker Hill has Ready Ed and they have the food lockers. So I'll find out from some of the other campuses that use them how they've gotten around that. But
Yeah,
it
that
is
sounds great.
compatible. Yeah, it is compatible to Banner and some other key pieces. So we're excited. My hope is that this meeting on Friday goes smoothly and we can order these suckers and get them here. I don't know how long it takes to get them here. And we also can wrap them. So they get wrapped with whatever logo or so they will be branded for us. That's part of the package is they get fully wrapped. Bunker Hill ones, if you haven't seen them, if you go on the website for the dish, it's wrapped with their bulldog mascot. It's really, really cool.
Thank you. And Cody?
Yeah, just for a split second, when you're talking about wraps, and I thought immediately like we're gonna get like Arby's to come sponsor the food pantry. It's potential, all right? Maybe.
No, just like the outside of the lockers will have a decal affixed to it so that it has a look to it that is positive and empowering. It won't look like, it won't say food lockers on it.
Very cool. Well, thank you for that update. Candace is not here, so we don't have faculty liaison report. So moving on to old business. Conflicting events. Do we want to make a committee for that? Or is that something, do we think just we'll kind of touch on that in the spring semester? Either way, we probably wouldn't be touching it till the spring semester anyways at this point, because we only have like 2 weeks left. Kathy?
So a last minute thing that I did on Sunday, and Nikki knows this because she's at All College Forum, is I put in my I always send in the list of student life events that are coming up, and I put a note in there. And I know that the person who runs All College Forum read that note saying that SGA has heard from students who are frustrated that events are happening simultaneously. And I've asked people to begin by looking at the list of events I had submitted, and to really take note of that when they're planning events. So that has gone out generally to the college campus, and it was reiterated at All College Forum. So at least that's a step in the right direction, and we'll see where things go from there.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for the update. So why don't we'll leave it alone for now and see how that helps. And if it still becomes an issue next semester, then we'll really jump on that and be like, okay, now we have to do something. But let's just leave it alone for now, because it did go out, and we'll see what that does. And then we can reevaluate next semester if it ends up being a problem. So Blackboard issues, I'm not sure. Kathy, did you have an update on that? I'm not entirely sure how. I don't think there's an update on that yet. So, okay, we'll hop over that for now then. So the ASGA memberships, I'm pretty sure those are all out. So you guys should all be registered now. I don't know, did anybody get emails with like login information? Justina, yes. Nikki, yes. Ren, yes. And Cody, yes. Okay, very good. So I would encourage you, go in, check it out. They have some very good information on there. I personally have not had a ton of time to go in. I've wanted to because it has good information from what I skimmed over when I first joined it, but definitely encourage you to look through that. And new business, we do need volunteers for orientation. So orientation is going to be January 12th. And we have two different ones. The first one's gonna be in person. It's gonna be from 8:30 to 2. We need volunteers for that. And then January 12th, the same day in the evening, we're gonna have a virtual orientation from 6:30 to 8. And okay, perfect, Nikki. Thank you. And so I think that the snow day, rain check day, I don't know what else you would call that, is gonna be the 13th. But Kathy?
So yeah, so we need as many of the student government people in person for the morning one. It's actually 9:30 to 2, but we need you on campus at 8:30 to volunteer. So if any of you can come, and I know the evening one, we don't need as many students. I know Nikki has volunteered. Chloe cannot make it that night. So, and as we get closer, we'll know what duties will be. I know that I'll be, during the in-person one, it's primarily helping students get from point A to point B, because this is a very different orientation than the fall orientation. It's much smaller. And we divide the students into 4 groups, and we're moving them from room to room throughout the event. And then in the evening, we're going to be looking at doing some breakout rooms. So it would be nice to have maybe a current student in each of those breakout rooms just to help with that. But just mark those dates. And as we're talking about dates, you can also mark the January 25th, which is the Welcome Back Fair, for recruiting.
Thank you. I know Gateway is also having theirs, and Miss Gunn was telling me that I had to be there, and I was fighting her on that. So I will be at the all college one, but I may or may not get a stern talking to.
It's likely that Gateway is going to be attending the general one. I talked to Fagan today, and most likely they're going to be attending the general one, then going into their own Gateway specific one at 1 o'clock.
Okay, so if they do end up having like a panel like towards the end that Ms. Gunn wants me to go to, am I able to slip away at that point? Okay. Very good. Ren said they can do both. And Cody can be in person. Very cool beans. Alrighty. There's nothing else for new business. Announcements, if anybody is still waiting on their schedules, get them to Kathy as soon as possible.
And we actually, so I've got everybody's schedule, minus Cody, who hasn't registered for classes yet. Cody. So anyways, I just was looking at this at the beginning of the meeting. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to do late afternoon or evening meetings again. based on what I have gleaned, it looks like everybody's available Mondays after 3:30, Tuesdays after 4, Wednesdays after 5, and Thursdays after 5. So I would suggest that we pick a date and time, a day of the week and time now, so that we can get that on the calendar.
I cannot do Mondays or Wednesdays.
Okay.
Can we keep the same time we're doing now?
Justina wants Thursdays at 5. You're killing me, Justina.
There were no Friday times? Or do we just say no Fridays at all?
Really, guys. You're killing Jason and I.
Just saying. I don't know. Just a thought.
Oh, no, we're going to be meeting on Sundays at 8 a.m.
Yeah, no Friday, please.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I know Jason, and I know I have a monthly meeting on Friday mornings with all the campuses. I think Jason, is it bi-weekly or monthly? I don't know. So Fridays is tough.
Yeah, and Ren said no Fridays, and Nikki also said no Fridays. So
Fridays is tough.
Fridays are not a thing. Forget.
No.
Well, not that they're not a thing, but
Yeah.
not for
Not for SGA.
not this time. I could do Thursdays at 5, if that has to be it, but I definitely cannot do Monday or Wednesdays after like 5:30.
If we have to, my preference would be Tuesday. I don't know. I mean, Jason, do you have a preference one way or the other?
No, not really. Except for Fridays.
I mean, do we want to keep the 6? For me, it's late. I know it's late for Jason, you know. This runs into my bedtime a little bit, but that's
So,
okay.
what's the earliest on Tuesday, did you say?
So 4 based on class schedules. That's not taking into account anybody's schedule outside of the classroom, except for Nikki, who sent me her schedule. Thank you, Nikki. And it runs a little close for some of her Tuesday. You got a Tuesday 3 to 4 p.m. Which is why we'd have to meet after 4 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Could it be maybe like a 4:30 gig? Because it's not too late, but it's not too close to it. Like it gives Nikki some breathing time.
Right. No, that's not, we've got people that aren't here, so I don't know if they have things that are going to keep them from that. But like I said, I'm looking basically on what, nobody has sent me anything. I'm looking at what I've been able to glean. Do we want to shoot for the 4:30 on Tuesdays? I know for myself, that's a little better. I'd rather just stay here at 4:30, do the meeting, then go home and be done. And then, you know, I can send that out to everybody. And if anybody has a real issue, you know, we can always shoot for the 4:30. And if we have to push it back to 5:30 or 6.
So that would make our first meeting the 24th, right?
Potentially, yes.
So we can say tentatively the 24th at 4 o'clock.
4:30.
4:30. I'm sorry, 4:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good. So as a follow-up to that, on that date, the 24th, I am probably bringing Jason Lavasser in to do some, he's coming to some of the Massachusetts colleges that week anyway, so I'm going to book him. And Jason and I, Jason Z, talked about potentially having him do a breakfast with SGA that morning. So looking at, again, schedules that I have gleaned from course schedules, it's not ideal for everybody, but one person has an 8 a.m. class on Tuesday, and another person has a 9:30 class on Tuesday. Other than that, nobody has a class before 11. So breakfast would, and it's not gonna be perfect for everybody. Not everybody's probably gonna make it, do we want to do it earlier, like shoot for a 7:30? Or would we rather say, hey, let's do a 9:30 breakfast?
Yeah, I agree with Justina.
Nobody wants to come in early.
I could be flexible if I had to, but I was waiting for the first person to be like 9:30 and be like 9:30. Let's do 9:30.
Either works for me. I'm usually up by 5 a.m. anyways.
Oh my gracious.
Yeah.
Yeah. First shift worker. I'm used to it.
You and I, Ren. I'm up at 4:30 to 5.
See, I want to be able to do that, but it just doesn't happen that way.
No, you don't want to. You don't want to get up that early. See, I'm a night owl who works first shift, so I don't sleep. It's fine.
We may need to work on that. I don't know.
Okay. So do you want me to put it on the schedule for a 9:30 a.m.? So it'll be kind of a late breakfast, like, if somebody has a class, they might be going to class first. But it'll kind of be like a training, kind of a spring semester prep talk and breakfast, and then he'll be doing stuff here. Probably just doing some casual stuff, open mic types of things, trying to encourage students to get involved, because the next day is the welcome back fair. So he won't be speaking in a room on leadership. It'll be more in the student center, playing some music, just getting students hyped up for the semester, which I think he'll do a really good job at. Okay.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So the tentative next meeting is going to be dun, 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 dun. Uh-oh. I lost it. January 24th at 4:30.
Yep.
Which is kind of crazy to think about that we're the last meeting right now.
Yeah,
for
quick
the
question
year.
on that. Do we want to stay with strictly virtual, or do we want to offer an in-person option?
I would say probably offer both because it's a lot earlier and some of us are still on campus anyways. I mean, I don't know how many. I'm definitely on campus, but I don't know about everybody else. I think Ren, didn't you say you were on campus every day this next semester? And I think Sarah is as well. So like there are a few of us who are gonna be in person anyways, so maybe we can do
Okay, and we'll look to book a room then.
okie dokie. Oops. All right, anything else with the scheduling, Kathy?
Nope.
Alrighty, so that being said, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday season. I'm sure I'll see still some of you around the hallway for the last like 2-ish weeks, 1.5-ish weeks, but that's crazy to think about.
I forgot one thing, sorry. Next week, Tuesday, the 13th, if you may have noticed, Switchboard Games. That is for all of the colleges, all the community colleges. So if you want to reconnect with people from the conference, those of you that went, perfect opportunity. It's 7 p.m. So it's lots of fun. It's kind of just a time to de-stress, and you'll go into breakout rooms to play some games, but you'll get a chance to reconnect with people that were at the conference. And it's open to anybody, anybody from the college, from any of the colleges. So even people that didn't go to the conference, but
You
we were
said
purposely
7:30?
7 o'clock.
Oh,
on the
7?
13th. Yeah,
Is it on Involvement?
it's on Involvement. It's on there. So it'll be in my email on Monday, but I specifically wanted to let everyone know that went to the conference.
Thank you. Alrighty, I just added it to my calendar. Very cool. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. Don't get too chilly out there. I don't know if that's possible, but but good luck with finals. And reach out if you need anything. But if not, I wish you the very best holiday season.
Bye, everyone. Have a
Bye,
great
everybody.
night.
You gotta
All right, see you all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I call this meeting adjourned at 6:57 p.m. My bad.